Hey, how's it going everybody? Welcome back to Aussie Fish Keeping. So in today's video, we're going to be talking about 5 super simple and effective ways you can get rid of surface algae in your aquarium. So obviously surface algae can be super annoying in your aquarium. Not only can it fog up your glass, but it can also smother your plants and it just isn't fun to have in there whatsoever. So in today's video, I'm going to be giving you guys 5 ways you can effectively remove it. But yeah, without any further ado, let's just jump straight into today's video. So first things first, I do just quickly want to say algae isn't bad for your aquarium whatsoever, and it can actually be kind of beneficial. So obviously it does photosynthesize, and through that photosynthesis, it does put oxygen into your water, which is super beneficial for your fish. It also sucks extra nutrients out of the water, so nutrients from excess food and stuff like that, it will take that out of the water. And finally, it can also provide a food source for a lot of different species of fish. However, like I said before, it can smother your plants and it can cover up your glass, and it is just really ugly. But enough of all that, we're just gonna now jump into some of the ways you can completely get rid of algae. So first things first is decreasing the lighting on your aquarium. So generally you should only have your aquarium light on for around 5 to 8 hours in a day. So it doesn't matter what time you have the lights on. You could have it on from 6 in the afternoon, or you could have it on from 3 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't really matter. As long as that time period in which your light is on is only around the 5 to 8 hours, you shouldn't have any troubles with algae to begin with. But if you already have algae in your aquarium, a strategy you can use is blacking out your tank. So what that is completely blocking out any light from entering your aquarium. So you can do that by putting towels or garbage bags over your tank. So what you do is you leave that on for a few days, and that should completely kill off any algae in your aquarium. If you do have plants in your aquarium, you shouldn't worry about it too much. They are a lot hardier than algae and they can go a lot longer without light. But yeah, decreasing or balancing out your aquarium lighting is definitely a great way to get rid of or avoid getting algae in your aquarium. Moving on to the next tip on our list, it's a pretty obvious one, and that's putting in algae-eating fish. So obviously you could use things like snails, but snails do a lot of the time just take over your aquarium, much like the algae does. So for nano aquariums, I would recommend things like cherry shrimp, otocinclus, hillstream loaches, and Borneo suckers. And then for larger sized aquariums, I'd recommend things like Siamese algae eaters, bristlenose, and golden suckerfish. And any other sucking mouth fish as well. Obviously there's hundreds of different types out there, and most of the time, as long as they have a sucking mouth, they will most likely eat your algae, but you will obviously need to do a little bit of background research before you get a fish. With getting more fish for your aquarium, there is a few cons. So first things first, they may not cohabitate well with the fish already in there. So you may have a super aggressive fish in your aquarium already, and they may not like having a cleaner fish in there whatsoever. Some other cons are that obviously you're going to need more feeding and you're going to need to do more cleaning on that aquarium. So an extra fish is going to need to eat more and it's going to produce more waste. So those are 2 other things you do need to take into account if you are going to get a new fish for your aquarium. But besides that, most algae-eating fish do a great job at keeping down the levels of algae in your aquarium. So a great thing to do is when you first get your cleaner fish, you should quickly just scrub down all the algae on the surfaces of your aquarium. And then that'll make it easier for your new fish to keep the algae levels down instead of having to go around and clean it all off in the first place. But yeah, introducing new cleaner fish into your aquarium is another great tactic to get rid of algae. Moving on to the next tip on our list, we have reducing your feedings. So if you are feeding too much in your aquarium, or your fish just aren't eating all of the food, all of that excess food will be a source of nutrients for your algae, and it will help your algae just absolutely explode in your aquarium. So basically, a rule of thumb is you pretty much want to put as much food as your fish can eat in 5 minutes in there, and any excess food after the 5 minutes you should take out immediately, and that's going to stop obviously algae outbreaks and things like that. But reducing feeding is another great tactic you can use to cut out all algae in your aquarium. Moving on to the next tip on our list, it's increasing the aeration in your aquarium. So obviously in order for your algae to photosynthesize, it needs CO2 and it needs light, and aerating your aquarium just pumps heaps of oxygen into your water, which creates undesirable conditions for your algae to grow in. So your algae will just eventually die off as it's not getting enough CO2. And another thing that increasing the aeration will do is it will increase the amount of aerobic bacteria that's in your aquarium. And that aerobic bacteria actually breaks down any excess nutrients in your water, so it will just completely starve the algae altogether, as there's no more nutrients for your algae to get. Although you do need to be careful, because increasing the aeration in your water can kill your plants, and it can also cause a lot of health issues for some fish that don't like very oxygenated water. And also, if you are vigorously aerating your water, sometimes all the bubbles can pop and water starts coming out of your aquarium. So you do need to top it up quite regularly. But as long as you are doing it properly, increasing the aeration in your water is another great way to get rid of algae altogether. And then moving on to the final tip on our list, it's adding more aquarium plants. So obviously, one of the main reasons you put aquarium plants in your aquarium, besides just looking really cool, is that they actually strip the water of any excess nutrients. And plants are generally very good at stripping nutrients, and they're a lot better than algae because they do have roots that are literally designed to strip nutrients from the water. So adding in nice and large plants like this sword or this blue stricter right here, your plants will be able to strip the excess nutrients a lot faster than the algae, which will obviously once again starve the algae and will eradicate it completely. But yeah, adding more aquarium plants is another great way you can completely get rid of algae in your aquarium, and I would highly recommend it. But that is going to bring us to the end of today's video, so I hope you all enjoyed, and I hope this video helps you guys get rid of all of that disgusting algae out of your aquarium. If you did enjoy today's video and you did find it helpful, please make sure to go down and subscribe. And while you're down there, smash the like button and comment your thoughts on today's video. I always love going down there and reading them all, and I reply back to literally every comment I see. But yeah, I hope you all enjoyed, and I'll see you all in that next video.